Sorry for that.
If it was
Right, can you hear me now? Welcome to Ket Serentry Education Channel. Today we are continuing with our collectible marks. Sorry for the earlier interruptions. So straight away, I'm going to start with table, Microsoft Word table, which is also a collectible mark. Right. So I have with me here Microsoft Word table questions, which I am going to pick one or two questions and deal with it. From there, then I go to another collectible mark, that is watermark. And then after watermark, I will also move to find and replace special. From there, I will also move to image manipulations. Right. So stay with me so that we go through all this. So first of all, I'm going to open one member newsletter from the Microsoft Word one member newsletter. Right. So now the first question says, find the table on page 9 and do the following. So we have to look for the table on page 9, and then we do the following. Add a new row above the heading and merge it. So we are going to look for the table on page 9. I presume this is the table they are referring to. Right. This one is page. There are no page numbers. Let me find out which table is it. So I will just put a page number to see. So this is the one they are referring to. Right. Now we have to add a new row above this one. And when you are dealing with a table, the moment you click inside the table, it's going to give you design and layout for the lower version. Now, Microsoft Word, the higher version, you will see table design and table layout. These two are very important. Is the one that we are going to use to modify our table. Now, when you go to table layout, you'll find rows and columns whereby you will see insert row above, insert row below, and then column to the left, column to the right, split cells, split table, auto fit. Then with the auto fit, we have the content and window. We also have the height and then the width. We have the text directions, cell margin, sort, repeat header rows, convert to text formula, and then also table properties. They mostly ask questions from here. So now this question is asking us to insert a row above the first one. So you click there, the first row, and then you see row above. Then insert the word code with a font size of 26 as the main heading. Now they say we must merge this one. So when you select, you will see merge cells. And then we have to insert the text called code. And it should be centered. How do we center something in the cell? When you see the alignment, you will find here, align center. You also find text direction. They can ask you to change the text direction as well. So here, just center by not changing the text direction. And then they are asking us to change the font size to 26. So we go to home, then the font size, we type 26, or we can choose 26. Center all the headings horizontally and vertically. So all the headings, we refer to this one and these ones as well. So we have to select this as well. Go to table layout, center horizontally and vertically. You choose align center from here so that it is centered horizontally and vertically. Change the width of the outer frame to 3 pt. And then also change the style of all the inner lines to dotted lines. So the outer one, we must change it to 3 pt. Now, to change the outer lines, select the table by clicking on this one, which is the select table tool. When you click on it, it selects the entire table for you. Now, whenever you want to change the lines, the weight, and everything, we don't use the table layout. We choose the table design. And then we change the width to 3 pt. Then we go to border and then we choose the outside. That's the outer. So that it gives us the outer lines. And then it says the inner one to be dotted lines. So again, you select the table, table design, then you choose dotted lines. But they did not mention the thickness of it, so you can choose any thickness. Now I want it to be more visible, so I can choose this one. Then you go to borders and choose inside. So that is it, how to change the lines, the outer and the inside when you are dealing with table. Then the next question, shade the left-hand column to any color, light color of your choice. This is the left-hand column. So you select this one. And how do you shade? Also, we go to table design, shading, and then we choose any light color of our choice. Then copy all the data of only the cleaning and fillings from the table in the document and paste it in a new document. That's the table format. Save it as one code. Do not forget the headings. So here we need a cleaning and fillings. Right, so we have to look for the cleaning. Here's the cleaning. And here's the filling. So you select the cleaning, you select the fillings, and then you select the headings also. They said do not forget the headings. Now, then you copy them. You right click and choose copy. When you are selecting, you press the control key. This is how we do it. You hold down the control key, select the headings, select the cleaning, and then you select the filling. When you are done, you remove your finger from the control key, right click, and then you choose copy. Or alternatively, you can just copy the entire table and then you paste it. You could have also done that by copying the entire table. Then we paste it in a new document so that we delete the others. Now, file, new document, and then we paste it. So we can choose paste special or the keep source formatting, this one. Now we don't need a checkup, so we delete a checkup. If you select the entire table, that's what is going to happen. Then you delete the checkup row, you delete the X-ray row, and you delete this row as well, so that you will be left with the fillings and then also the cleaning, as well as the headings. Then you save this table. Right. So basically, this is how you're supposed to solve this question. Now, one aspect of a table is also having the lines. That's the table layout. When you go there, you have what you call a cell margin. So if I click on the cell margin, then I choose allow spacing, let's say to 1 centimeter. Then you will see there's a spaces between the cells. This is cell 1. With the cell 2, there's a space. That's 1 centimeter. So that is what we call a cell margin. You can get a question also like this, and then they will tell you to modify it so that you see it as you see in the screen. Right. They can also tell you to repeat the header row so that when this table splits into the next, let's say I insert rows below. Right. Now, if I insert more rows below, and then you want it to repeat in the next column, then choose repeat header row so that when you go to the next page, it will also be repeated. That's repeat header rows. Right. You can also convert it into text, and then you can also sort your document. You can sort it in a table. If you want to sort In column A, you go to sort, and then you choose, maybe we are sorting based on the code, and then OK, so that it will sort based on the code. Remember, the code is the first one. If I was not having the code, like this one, if I don't have the code and I want to sort this, so you choose the heading that you are sorting according to. Let's say column 1 based on text, and then you click OK. So that's going to be sorted based on column 1. Cleaning now comes before the filings. Now you can also sort in descending order as well. So that's how we apply the sorting in a table. Right. Now let's go to another question. One honey trade. Let's take the second question. Right, now this question is requiring us to convert text into a table. Now we have this table here, and then it says, find the green highlighted text under the heading Honey Exports to the Rest of the World. Convert the text into a table. So let's look at the green highlighted text. Here is it. So they want us to convert this one into a table. So you select the text. Make sure you don't select it too much to go beyond that text. It must end where the text is ending. Be careful about that. Then, how do we convert text to table? Because here we don't see the table layout and then the table design. So there you go to insert, then you see table, then you'll find convert text to table. And now, because they are separated, now you must always check whether they are separated by tabs or they are separated by comma. Or if you don't know, you can use other, because sometimes they can have comma that is separating them. Then you can choose the other option to separate it. So like here is tabs. Tabs is giving us 5 columns and 11. But here we are having 11, and then the columns are only 3. So we need to choose paragraph or the comma. You must make sure that you have the right number of columns. So the comma may be separating 3 and then 11. So here is not the right one. That means they did not use that tab. So we must check the right one that they use. Otherwise, we are not going to get it right. So here I select again. Table, convert text to table. Then when you choose paragraph, it gives you 1. The comma or the other. The other can give you the right one. Let's say 3 and then 11. So here, it's all kept in one cell. It's not supposed to be in one cell. So the other was not a dash. And then 3 columns. So it was separated by, let's say, space. We got it right, but then some of them are moving to the next one. So if you are not getting it right, you must check the number of columns. And then because this one, the way they place it, it was a space in between, but the number of columns is 3. And then the number of rows . Let's see, let's use the comma separating it with the 3 columns, and then the width. Then we can arrange them properly. The countries should be in the next column. Make sure you don't have more than that, because normally when they do it and then it spills up to the next one, it creates a big problem. So here the number is here, the top 10. Let me check it carefully. Top 10 country values in that. We can do this one separately. Maybe that's the one creating problem for us. So we can use this one. 3 to 10, yes. I think this one is better. 3 columns and that one, yes. The problem was the headings. The headings were giving us problem. So you must select only the values, insert table, convert text to table. Then it gives us automatically with the tabs separating them, 3 columns and then the 10 rows. Now after that, we can create another column or another row above. Then we copy this one and paste them. Or you cut them and paste them here as the heading. So the top 10 must be here. And then the countries must be in the second one. The headings were having problems. That's why we were initially getting problems with that. Right. So basically, we needed to only focus on the content, and then after that, we put this one on top. Right. Now, just to convert them, like you see here, the question says, hint, choose the tabs as the separator. So it was the tabs, but it was giving us problem. Remove the green highlight. So we have to remove this green highlight also. We should have no highlight. Right. So the tabs, we chose it rightly so, but then the headings were the one giving us problem initially. Now, with this table, we can be given a question to create a calculation. Let's say we want to do some calculations for this table. You go to table layout, formula, and then here, let's say we want to find average. You select the function average, and the inside you say above. We are calculating average above this. Then we can choose the number of decimal place, whether 2, and then OK. So this one gives us the average of all the values here above. You can also calculate average to the left or average to the right based on where the values are. Again, expect questions like doing arithmetic calculations also. Let's say this one, we want to do calculations that will involve 30%. Again, maybe the sum above times 30. Times 30 over 100. So you can also do arithmetic calculations in a table. Right, let's check whether there's any question. If there's no question, I will proceed as well. Now, let's take a look at one fiction. This table here, they ask you to calculate the average and then also remove certain lines. So you do the same thing for 6 marks, making sure that you remove or you calculate the average here, because this average was average to the left. And then this one was merged and added. So it was easy table. Here also, they ask you to sort and calculate a formula. Now let's look at one and trade the same question. And then we look at one zoo, then we bring the tables to an end, then we can move on to the next topic. Now, the same data file, it says find the table under the heading types of honey products. So let's look for that table. Here is the table. Now it says sort the table alphabetically according to the type of honey product. Now this is the table. We want to sort it. So you select the table, entire table. Like I told you earlier on, you will find the sorting under the table layout. Then you see sort. And we are sorting according to the type. So here is the type by the text. But do not include the heading row or the last row when applying the sorting. Now, we are doing this. We don't want to include the heading row. So you see, it has a header row. We have to say it has a header row so that we don't include it to sort. You must take, if you don't take this one, it's going to include that one. So you have to take this one. And again, we are sorting by the text inside it using the paragraph. Now, there are also other options. We can have a sorting option that is separate field at the top or the comma. You must take note of that, or sometimes they can tell you about the case sensitivity. When you're done, you click OK. So here they say we shouldn't include the bottom one. So it's including the bottom. So we have to be very careful about that. That's the sorting. So if you take no header row, that means there's nothing there on the header. It has a header row. Now, we are not supposed to include that one. So meaning that we have to select up until this part. We don't have to include this one. And then we choose no header row. Or it has a header row and then OK. Right, so this one did not include the last part. So we have to take note. If you select the entire table, it's going to also include this one in the sorting. Right. Then the next question is modify the formula in the last cell to include VAT of 15%. Now we have to change this one. When you select this, you click on formula. Then it says it must include the VAT of 15%. That means all these sum, then we have to increase it by 15%. That will be times 115 over 100. Why are we saying times 115 over 100? Because we are adding the 15% to this one. So meaning that we are adding 15% to the original percentage, which is 100%. So you say 115 over 100. So this should be the amount. Right. Then the last part, any grade, apply the bended rows option, and then they change the height vertically. Now look at the bended row. If they wanted to choose a grade table style and then a bended row. Let's take, for instance, this one. Bended row, you will find it under the table design, and then you will see bended columns and then bended rows. So here is there. We also have the last column or the last row. Then it also says we must apply the grade table style. And these are the table styles. They say any grade table style. Right. So this is basically tables. Watch out for the cell margins, applying different options in the table layout, like sorting, calculation, and others. In most cases, they ask questions on these. So watch out for them. Now, the last part of the table, which will be center the content vertically. Now, if you want to center this vertically, then like I said, you choose it horizontally and vertically. But then if they say center the table, you just go to properties and then you choose center. So watch out for this. Also, we have the alternative text and then the cell also. They can tell you to center the content and then the columns also. So please check all these under the table properties. You must check them also. Whenever you are dealing with tables, don't forget the table design and table layout. Now, the last part regarding tables will be this question paper. That was last year question paper, whereby they put a cell margin at 1 centimeter. But like we said, you select them and then you choose 1 centimeter. So I'm going to choose the one zoo. So this one, they had this table. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, two-seater. I think it's here. This one, yeah. They want us to put this one in a table. So how do you do that? We are converting this one into a table. So when you select this, insert table, convert text to table. Now, as you can see, this one is being separated by /. So we choose other and then we type / there. Because two-seater and then 150 per hour is being separated by /. But here you don't see the /. So meaning that we have to put the / as the separator. And then okay. Then we have also this document, the requirement also at the bottom. So meaning we need to insert another row. Then we merge it by going to table layout, merge cells. We can cut this and put them inside. Now, when you are done with this, the next one is to put what we call the cell margin, which we will get it from cell margins 1 centimeter. So basically, this is what the question wanted us to do. First of all, we have to convert to table and then we put the cell margin. So that is how this question wanted us to do. Right, this brings to an end of tables. Please go through some of these tables and then the calculations, and then you'll be able to answer all these questions. Right, still under this one zoo, I want to take the opportunity and also go through the tab stop. There was a question like that. Now, this question here, we needed to place this one with a line. You would think that it is a column. So when you select them, then at 8 centimeter, I think it was at 8 centimeter, you double click there, or 8.5, and then you choose bar, and then you set it. So that there will be a bar line there. Then you click there and press tab to move this one to that side. So there was a question like that. They gave a screenshot like this, and then they wanted you to arrange them so that it looks like what you see on the screen. So they use the tab stop, which is the bar one, not the left or the right or decimal, and then they set it at 8.5 centimeters. Right, another collectible mark is also how to manage the sources or the source manager, which in most cases is there. You need to get those questions also done. I'm going to go through them and then solve one or two questions there as well before we go to image manipulations and then fields, and then we'll look at styles also. I will not waste much time. I will be trying to do one or two questions for each so that you have time to go through them. Now, the managed source, one member news letter. I have it here already. Now the question says, add the source displayed at the end of the document to the other sources of the document. So we have to look for the source at the end of this document. Then we need to add it. Now look at the source over here. It says adapted from the website link, and the testing is on us, and then the author is there. The last modifier is also there. So if you have this question, you can copy them. Now, how do we add the source? You can use the search and type the source manager. And then you go to new source. Or alternatively, just go to references and then you see manage source. And then you choose new source. Now, this one is a website because of the hyperlink. And then you put the URL, you paste it there. Then the name of the web page is testing on us. Then you put the year also there. You can modify it later. The year was January 2020, so I can click on the source and then edit. Then I can put the year there as well, 2021. So basically, this is how we add a source to our document. Now, after that, they say we must add bibliography. How do we add bibliography? You go to references, bibliography, and then you choose the bibliography, which will give the list of all the cited sources. So that one is also a collectible mark. One annotate, this one had already citation, then they wanted to edit that citation. So let's also look at that. On page 7, they said there's a citation there already. Right. There's a citation already here. On page 7. Let me add a page number so that it become easier for me. But there's no page 7. Let's check the question again. Find the blue highlighted text under the heading, this, or insert citation. Sorry, my bad, insert citation. So we have to look for the blue highlighted. Find the blue highlighted text under the heading local opportunities. Right, so here is it. Now we have to add citation here. To add citation, you can also use the source. You can search for citation. Then you see insert citation. I've been telling you that Microsoft with the tips, just always use tell me what to do or the search is easier. Otherwise, you go to the long process. So citation, and then we want to choose this citation. Then after that, it says display the page number P7 in the citation as well. Now, after adding this citation, you go there and then you choose edit citation, not edit source. When you use edit source, that means that you want to change the source of the information. You want to add something. Now here we are only adding the or making changes to the citation. Then we go to edit citation, and then the page number we say P7. Now, if they don't want you to display the author, you suppress the author so that the author will not be displayed. Now you see the page number there. So basically, this is how we insert citation and then make changes to citation. Go through them. So citation and then editing citation, they follow almost the same approach. Now, this one says remove the source. If you are to remove a source, you go to source manager and then you delete that source as well. Right. Now, let's move straight to image manipulations. Image manipulations, or we can start with watermark. From there, then we go to image manipulations, and then drop cap is also the easier ones. We have footnote, cross-references, and others. So let's start with the watermark. Now, one victim, add a watermark to the document as follows. Then this one says we must use the picture one pick image, and then they scale the watermark to 200%. Right, and then the one Canva also says insert watermark, and then we must make it to be only on the first page. Then Two Moon also, it says we must replace the text watermark with that, and then it should be 8pt. Right, so I think I can go through this one. The third one, that is a more challenging one, and then I will make it to be only on one particular page. So I'm going to open Two Moon document. Right. Now, there's a symbol that was given to us. They say WebDance character code. It was not clear there. I think it's WebDance character code, a certain symbol. Now, we are going to replace this watermark called moon with that symbol. So first of all, we need to insert that symbol. So we go to insert symbol, and then we go to more symbol. Now it was WebDance. WebDance with the moon character code. I'm not sure of that character. According to the question was not clear over there. But I think I can see it here. Here is it. It was character code 224. So you first insert it. Now, after inserting it, you select and then you cut it. Then we go to watermark. Then watermark, and then you choose custom watermark. Now, here they say text watermark. So we click on text. The text called moon, we are going to replace it. So we delete moon. And then we choose the font. Don't forget, the font should be Webdings, the same font. Then you paste it. And then the size should be 800 pt. They didn't ask for any color. There we go. So now that Webdings will be as our watermark with 800 pt. Right. So that's how we insert a watermark of this nature. Right. Now, I'll also take opportunity. Let's say we want to display the watermark only on the last page. We don't want the watermark to be anywhere or everywhere. Now, if you want the watermark only on a specific page, or even let's say we want it to be only on this page, we have to put a section break here. When we go there, and then we go to break from layout, and then we put continuous. Then also after this page, we put break, layout, continuous. And then meaning we want to separate this page from that page, and then the page below as well. Now, when you separate them, make sure you go to the header before that page, remove link to previous. Go to the footer, remove link to previous. Again, this page here, we have to also remove it, link to previous from the footer, and remove link to previous from the header. In other words, we have separated this page from the rest of the pages. After that, still your footer must be activated. Then you go and put the mouse pointer on this side, and then you press delete. So it's only on that page. If it's here also, you click there and press delete. If it's also here, you delete them. So now the rest of the pages are gone. Make sure that you don't have sections. Here we are having so many sections. That's why. So this is section 3. We should not link to the previous. Both the footer and then the header. We shouldn't link them. Right. So now we can have only this page with our watermark. We can insert our watermark from design, watermark, custom, text, with the Webdings. There we go. So the watermark will only be on that page. The rest, if it's giving you the section again, delete it. Delete. So that it will only be on this page. Right. So basically, that's how we insert the watermark. And remember, when you are deleting, you must make sure that you have footer and header there so that you can press it and then press delete key. Now it is only on this page. The rest of the pages are deleted. So first thing is to put a section break, and then you can now remove link to previous. So that's how we put watermark on a specific page. You must put section break, and then you remove link to previous, then you can now insert it. Right. Then again, find and replace with a special character. That is also another kind of question that normally come and learners struggle with it. Let's say we want to find all the occurrences of the word moon, and then we replace it with a specific style. Now, so find and replace. You go to replace, find what moon, replace with. You don't type anything there. You go to more, and then you move to format. we want to apply a style on it. So we go to style, and then we want to apply the moon style on it. Then you go to replace all. So all the words that are called moon will be changed with what? That style. Remember, it's selecting all of them because I did not use the whole word only. Let's check again. When it says style, you must say find whole word only. So that all the moon will be applied with that style. That's how we use the find and replace. Then also, if we want to find all the occurrences of the word moon and then we replace with a moon picture character code 224. So first of all, you must insert that symbol. Now, when you insert the symbol, cut the symbol. It could also be image. You cut the symbol or the image, and then you go to find and replace. We are looking for find moon, and then when you go to more, when you come to replace with, then you choose special, and then you find here clipboard content here. Then you go to replace all. So all the word moon will be changed now with a symbol. So we use the clipboard content, not just saying paste. It will not work. So basically, that is how we use the find and then replace, whereby you can replace it with a symbol. Right. Any questions so far? Okay. Somebody's asking if I can send a link. Yes, I'm going to send a link for that file as well. I shared it yesterday. I think it's also there by when you go to past grade 12 papers, you are going to find MS Word by Serentry. So I'm going to share with you again. And it will also be under this video. You'll find it there. Good. Now, we move straight to, that is about watermark and then find and replace. You must take note of that. How to find and replace with a special character, or find and replace with a style or any other things. That's how we use that format. So you can try those questions later on. Watermark only on the first page. Don't forget to put a section break before you insert it. And then after that, remove that link to previous. Then you delete the rest. Right. Now, hyperlink. I think we talked about hyperlink already. When you hyperlink and then you want to put, okay, let me talk about the cross-reference, the bookmark, hyperlink, and cross-reference. Let me try and do one or two questions before we go to track changes. And also we will look at the image manipulations and others. Now the hyperlink, two buildings, and then also, so I open two buildings. Now the question says, insert a cross-reference on the text reference to the bookmark forever. Display only the page number. So we have to look for the text reference. Reference. Yeah, here. So to insert a cross-reference, you must insert on this text. So when you select, you can use search as well, cross-reference, if you don't know where to find it. But then cross-reference can be found from the references. And then here they say references to a bookmark. You can reference to headings, bookmark, footnote, endnote, equations, figures, and then table. Now here we are cross-referencing to a bookmark, and then the bookmark name is forever. Then it says reference to only page number. Sometimes they can say above or below or full text. Now they say only page number, then you choose insert. So you see that reference there, the 6, then to link to that one. Right. So that is how we insert cross reference. Now, also to insert a bookmark or hyperlink bookmark, when you select, you can choose bookmark when you want to create a bookmark. Hyperlink is link. And then if you are linking to a bookmark, you choose place in this document. If you are linking to another page, you go to address, then you type the address here. Right. Don't forget the screen tips also. And then you can also hyperlink to email or to create a new document. So take note of the hyperlink and bookmark. They are collectible marks as well. Right. Then the track changes. Let's go to track changes. Track changes. It says we must open one protect. We try to touch almost every question regarding Microsoft Word. Please, this document that I'm sharing with you, when you watch the video, try and solve the questions also. It's going to assist you in so many ways. Right. So I open one protect, and then it says, reject the track change on the cover page of the document. Now, this is the cover page. How do you see the track changes? Whenever you see, it could be red or purple color with a line drawn across it. If you don't know where to find it, where to display this as well, you can go to also review, and then you see here track changes. You must display all markup. If it is displayed as no markup, you won't see any change there. So that is what sometimes we use it to trick learners also. Make sure that all markup is selected. Then you can see all the changes. Now, when you click on it, you can right click and say reject or accept deletion. Or you can also find it from accept or reject. So that's how we reject or accept the track changes. So here, this question is saying that we need to reject. So you right click and say reject deletion so that animals will be there. That's how we do track changes. Now, this question also, one health, which is talking about inspection, which is part of the review. It is also talking about review. So let's take a look at that. Right. Now, the question says, inspect the document for issues and remove all hidden text from this document. Now, how do we inspect it? It's also part of the review. Now, if the question says, inspect something you don't know where to find it, like I've been telling you, you'll find it under search, just type inspect. You will see inspect document. It is part of the compare. Now, when you go to document inspector, they say all the hidden. So you look for hidden. Then you say inspect. Now, when you click on the inspect, you are going to remove the hidden ones. Hidden text, you say remove all. We are not removing this. So we are removing the hidden text. We go to remove all. Right, so all the hidden text will be removed and then you close. So that is how we inspect. So now when we are marking, we check whether it is not having. So now when I go back and I go to document inspector, then I go to inspect. I don't see any hidden text. No hidden text was found. So because I've already removed it. If you do not remove it, you will see remove all, just like this one. So that's how we inspect hidden text. Right. Then the drop cap. Drop cap is also collectible, which I know most of you know how to do from grade 10. You just go to insert drop cap. Then you look for the number of lines. So if I want to drop cap to this, I can use tell me what to do. Say drop cap, add drop cap, and then we have two. So you go to drop cap options, whether dropped or in margin. Check whichever that the question wants you to do. How many lines to drop, and then distance also. So you must take note of that. Those are collectible marks also. Then let's go to table of content. Table of content and table of figures. Keep lines together. We did it yesterday, and then also character spacing. We did it also. Then we look at the footnote, whereby you see two items there on the footnote. Cross-reference, we have also talked about that. And the index tabs, we did it also. Tabs, you must always check. This was the question I just did with you with a line. That's the tabs. And then the columns also, we did it yesterday, whereby you place the column heading. So basically, we are almost there for Microsoft Word. Now we move straight to that aspect of the table of content. So cross-reference, you must try and do all the questions. Table of content. Now, it says insert an automatic generated table of content under the heading content. And then you must use classic format. Display only the heading formatted in the B hairstyle. So I think I have the one honey trade. Now, to insert table of content, you can use the shortcut table of content, or you can go to references and then go to custom table of content. Now, according to the question, we have to use classic format. So the format should be classic. And then also, it says display only the headings in the B heading style of the table. Right. Ensure that the text any production is also displayed in the table of content. So now we go there and choose options. We need to only display the B style. Now, if there's anything selected, we delete. We don't need heading 1, so I will delete it. We don't need heading 2, and we don't need heading 3. There's only the B style. Then you click OK. So only the B style will be displayed. But now there's a heading that is not part. This is the honey production in South Africa. So we have to select it and apply the B style. Then after that, we can update our table of content. Right click and choose update field and choose update entire table. so that that one will be part of it. So the way we insert table of content is the same as the way you insert table of figures or table of index. So you must take note of that. Table of figures for captions, index also for mark entries, and table of authorities also. So please take note of this. The format are still the same. Right. Then, so you can try your hands on other table of content. Like this question here, you must check the style that they use, and then you can be able to apply your table of content on that. So try your hands on them. Like for instance, this question, you must check this table of figures. Which one did they use? Right, so I think it's one protect. I can open it and then check. So we have table of figures. Now the question is we have to insert table of figures. So we go to references, table of figures. Now they didn't tell us the style that we should use, so we have to look for the right style. Let me choose classic. And then if it's only figure, check here, it's a figure 1, figure 2. So meaning the caption label is figure. Sometimes you can see table 1, table 2, or equation. Then you select the right caption label. Right. So that is what we talk about table of figures. And table of content, they are always similar. Now, we look at styles. Let's go to how to create style and then the image manipulation as well as the logos. Yes. Let's look at the style and multi-level list as well. Take note of that multi-level list. We will look at that. Then also, tomorrow we will be looking at this part. Before we move to spreadsheet, we'll be looking at forms and then also mail merge. Tomorrow we will dedicate the time for forms and mail merge. Now, today we are only limiting our things on the collectible marks. Let's look at this image manipulations. So I'll open one review. So we were given an image. Let's look at the question. It says, open the one poster with a P1 star password, paste the group of 5 images from the one poster. So we have to look for one poster. And then you extract, the password is P1 star. Right, so it opens for us, then we can open that one poster. Now, these are the images. They say we must copy and then paste them so that it looks like that. So we select all the images, you copy, we come and paste it inside the one review. Okay, let me paste it here. Now, look at the image. They are grouped already, so we have to ungroup. You right click and choose group, and then you choose ungroup so that we can do them properly. All right. So now, I think it doesn't want a group. Wait. And group. Let me go to one poster and make sure that they are not grouped. Right. So I must ungroup from one poster, and then I copy them. I come and paste it. Now, I have to rearrange them properly. Whenever you are dealing with images, when you click on it, you see the picture format. So these images, you rearrange them. How do you rearrange? Make sure that the layout are having the same. Let me focus on the one poster. I'll bring it back. Okay, the layout, you must choose the square so that you can put them properly. They must have the same, if you want to group, they must have the same layout. I'm choosing all of them to have the same layout. Right, then after that, I have to now put them together. You click on each of them by holding down the control key. You can only achieve that when they all have the same layout. After that, you right click and choose group. So now they are grouped together. Then you go to picture format again. You see crop and then crop to shape. Now look at the shape that is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So crop to shape with a 6. Hexagon is 6. There we go. So basically, when you group them first, you can now change them to the shape of your choice. So I can even change them to the heart shape. Then again, you can flip it, also flip horizontal or vertical. So watch out for these under the picture format. Now, if I want to move it, I must choose this one, then I can move it around. So let's say I want this one to be part of this document, one review. I can bring them here and paste it. So for me to move it, I must have the same layout so that I can move it nicely. Right, and then you can also be given a question to change the size of it. You change the size, make sure you select lock aspect ratio should not be there, and then you can now change the size also. So watch out for some of these things, how to do this, how to recolor the images and others. So that's all about picture manipulation. So watch out for these type of questions. Like here, take note, photocopy effect. When you go there, the picture format, you'll see the effect, picture effect with a preset. There are so many presets, the shadow, reflection. We have the glow and others. They can ask you any of these. Putting the border around it also, they can ask you to put a border around them. So watch out for the picture format. Then you can manipulate and make changes to all these. So look out for these when they ask you that type of question. Like here, the description alternative text, you must always go to the properties of it. This is the shape. When you go there, you see the alternative text, and then you can type the alternative text. So go through all these images. If they want you to be in the middle like this, don't forget to make sure that they are having tight or square. Then you can now move them to the middle, as you can see here. When they ask you a question like this, to place them nicely this way, also make sure they can even ask you to remove the background. They can ask you to remove the background. If it's having a background, when you click on it, you see remove background or recolor. So please go through all this and then answer these questions. Right. Now, if you have this, then they want you to put a border around it. Like I said earlier, you can choose the shapes, either rectangle or that one, you can draw it. Then when you go to the format, the picture format or layout, you choose at the back. Right, you can do that also. So watch out for some of these questions when they want you to group them and put this one on the right and put a border around it. You can use the rectangle, or you can also use the text box to place them. So these are some of the questions that you should be expecting. Now, the last question, then we end this lesson, will be what we call the multi-level list. Now, I'm going to take one or two questions, then I will focus on multi-level list. Let's take this question here, one overview. Or we can choose one health, which I've already opened. This one, is it from on the road? Yeah, here. Now, we can see that the first level is 1, 2, 3, and it starts at 0. The second level, like A, B, C, it starts at 1 centimeter with the first line indent. So this on the road, I'm going to take it to 1 centimeter with the first line indent. And then road vehicles should be first one. So you select them. Then you go to multi-level list. You get it from paragraph group, or you tell me what to do. Paragraph, and then you go to define new multi-level list. Now the first level is 1, 2, 3. And then it starts at 0. So here, the align edge should be 0. Then 1, 2, 3 doesn't have a bracket, you must delete it. Then you go to the second level, which is ABC with bracket, which is there already, but it starts at position 1, so 1 centimeter. Now, when you are done, you click OK. So if I want to push this on the road, I press the tab key. It will go there. Now, this one must be at 1 centimeter. This one at 0, this one at 1 centimeter. On the road is the first level. Sorry, I made it on the road, should have been included. I should have started numbering from on the road, this one, with a multi-level list. Good. So this is second level. I press the tab key, it goes to that one. Then before its first one, this you select all these, and then you press the tab key. You select all these, press the tab key. You don't need to do it one by one. You select them, and then you press the tab key. There we go. So that's how we do multi-level list. First of all, you must choose the one that the question requires you to do. There are so many examples of multi-level list. It can be images, like this one here. You can see this one has an image. The second level is an image. No, it's a character with wingdings. So let's look at one K1 overview. Then we'll bring today's lesson to an end. Let's look at K1 overview. Now we have this list. And according to the question, it says, from the requirement, the player eligibility should be the first level. So we select here up until this one, and then we choose multi-level list. You can type it also here, multi-level list. Then you select define new multi-level list. Then the first level is ABC. So we select number style for this format. We choose ABC. Remember, it has a bracket, so we must put a bracket here under the enter formatting for number. Then the second level, according to the question, it says it's a symbol character code 176 for the second level, and it should be 1 centimeter, and the text should be 1 centimeter also. So we go to second level. Then the number style for this level, you scroll down and look for symbol. There are so many number styles there. Then you go to new bullet. Then they say it's a Wingdings character code 176. Wingdings, let me go back and choose again. Wingdings character code 176. There we go. And then they say it should be 1 centimeter here, and then 1 centimeter at alignment. So now, which ones are the second level participant and all players? That's these two. Then you press tab key. These three are second level. And then finally these two. So basically, you can have second, third, and other levels. And other levels can also be even a picture. So take note of how to do multi-level listing. Right. Thank you for your precious time. Let me check if there's any comment. Someone says, how do you link it, but it displays it as an icon only? Can you come again? Are you referring to what did you say should display as icon only? If you come again, are you talking about the hyperlink? Okay, yes, I get your question. That's the field. That's the field. There's a question under fields also here. We wanted to focus on it tomorrow, but then we will, let me just explain it to you before we end. That's the field. Here is it. Under the shapes. Yeah, here is it, field. Insert the name of the file in the footer. That one, we can do that. Here, one pyramid, like this question. Find the heading, insert here. Insert the one structure word processing document found in your document folder below the heading so that it appears as an icon. I think this is what you are referring to. Right. So I'll open one pyramid. Right. So we go to insert here. Now the question says we must display it as a field, one structure. So let's go and look for one structure. Here is it. Now, I always say the easier way, but I'm going to use the easier way. Then later on, I will talk about the long process. So the easier way, when they ask you to display as a field, you can drag it. And then you come and paste it there. Drag and drop. There we go. That's the easier way, depending on the office that you are using. You use the drag and drop as an icon. So now when I double click here, it's going to open one structure for me. Right. Alternatively, if you are to use the long process, you go to insert quick path. No, insert object. Then you choose object as well. Then you select create from file. You browse that one and then that's the long process. Let's say I want to use this one. Then you take display as an icon and then okay. So it still is the same thing. But what I'll advise you, if in examination this one will work, drag it and then you drop it. Drop it at that position where it's supposed to be. It will be as an icon. Right. If they wanted to insert a file name, you know where to find it. Number of words. If they say insert the number of words as a field, anywhere, you go to insert field, or you can just search for field. It shows insert field, then you look for number of words. So it gives me the number of words as a field. So we will revisit this, the field, drag and drop, and then you can give the number of words, number of pages, and others as a field. I think I've answered your question. Drag and drop is easier for you to do that. Any other question? If there's no question, thank you for your precious time. I will urge you to go over this and solve more of these questions. Tomorrow we'll be focusing more on Microsoft Excel, but then we have to go to forms and then also mail merge and some few questions that I will get from you. I will help you. Right. So come with your questions. We will be doing Microsoft Word and then the basics of the collectible marks in Excel. Come with your questions and then I will help you solve all these questions. Thank you for your precious time.